Hey guys, Chovy here. Another quick video. I'll try to keep these short. I think more people will watch them if they're short. But just some little refactoring. I've been looking at this code. My caching, if you watched the previous video, I set the key. I get the key. And then if I get a cached object back, I parse it and return it as the response body. So this code, I have that in every endpoint route. And it's just a stupid quick code. You want to use the dry principle, which is do not repeat yourself. So I'm going to try and factor this out a little bit. Make it better. So I think at least this stuff I can move into here. We're gonna do this const cached equals, and then I'm gonna move this up here. And then I'm going to return data. So I'm still getting data back. I'm parsing it inside my get cache function, which is going to save a few lines. I'm also moving the log in there. So then we go back here. So if I get data, I can do this. I can actually do data equals that. And then get rid of that. If data, I have to look at if this is going to error out. This might error out. I'm just going into the logger here. I'm going to do JSON parse undefined. That throws an error, so I got to check for that. If cached, do this shit. And I'm using prettier.js, which reformats everything when I click save. I'll show you how to set that up in a second. So I'm just going to do let data. So I got to do that. Let's put that at the top. So we define data, but we don't set it to anything. And then we get the cache value. If we have a value, we then parse it with JSON parse, log the key that we're using to cache, and then return data. So then we can come down here, and I'll do data equals that. If we have data, we're just gonna do this. So I removed 3 lines of code there. It's a little simpler. I can remember this. I couldn't remember the 6 lines or whatever it was. And then actually I gotta make this let, because down here I set it. If there's no cache, we get it from the DB. So I think that will work. Let's clean up the other endpoints. We're going to replace this with let data. If data, we move these 2 lines out. Just get rid of that. So we don't have cache, we fetch it. Set cache works fine. So again, let data. It's always good. I mean, you're never going to write the perfect code the first time around. It's good to make small changes rather than refactor like fucking 80 lines of code in one pass. I like to do small incremental updates. And I think that holds true for the whole Agile principle. I wasn't a big fan of Agile because it was such a shit show. Most companies I worked for, it was just totally mishandled and just felt like a tool for managers to micromanage their developers, which to me, development is an art form. It also requires a lot of brain power. Not that we're smarter than anybody else, but just you have to think a lot. And the more thinking you do up front, the less code you have to write. If you just start writing code without thinking about it, it can get pretty ugly pretty quick. But the whole Agile, it's gotten better at a lot of companies the last couple of years, but it was a mess, dude. Stand-ups are supposed to be 5 minutes. They turn into 45-minute meetings. Shit like that. You have them every morning. It's like, dude, I don't care what anybody else is working on. Just what I'm working on. So one of the more, I would say, hipster type web 4.0, whatever you want to call it, companies I worked at recently, they did a stand-up every 2 days. Did it on Tuesday and Thursday, which I thought worked out pretty well. Trending. I should cache trending. Let's go to const key. Whoops. Const key equals trending. Oops, helps if you spell it right. Let data equals await this dot get cache key. If data context of body equals data return. See, I can remember that shit. I couldn't remember the fucking log and the parse and all that shit. So I like to not have to cut and paste shit. So we're gonna set data down here. Await this dot set cache key data. Watch my other video if you want to see how that works. It's pretty easy to set up. Just gonna do that for brevity. So we got keys there. Tags. Here's the get cache. We just built that in this video. Set cache. Pretty straightforward. You pass in the key and the data, you stringify it, and then you set an expiration date. I'm setting the expiration date to 5 minutes. And I just log the key that the cache has been set. I'm going to cache this one too. Let's see. Const key equals cryptos. We're going to do let data equals await this dot get cache key. If data context dot body equals data return. I don't know if you can return like that. That would be nice. I know you can in PHP, but I think that produces weird side effects in JavaScript. So it's going to return on its own line. We already declared that. And then down here we're going to do await. You got to remember to put the await. Set cache key data. And I think that is everything. I am caching all my endpoints now. So we're good. The only ones I'm not caching are the recent ones. Those are going to pull from the DB, but they're only pulling the last 100. So it's not going to be that much of a load. In my next video, I think I'll tackle pagination. But that's it. Now, let's go to Brisk Reader. Let's just run it here real quick. npm run dev. Make sure I don't get any compilers. I did. Did has already been declared on 322. So I jumped to a line. I haven't figured that out. Go to line control G. Okay, so control G 322. Control Shift G. No. What was it? Go Control G. Okay, I thought I did that. Oh, 322. Okay. Here's 322, so we can get rid of this. We'll see if there's any other issues. No. Compiles. Okay, so now I'm going to deploy it. npm run deploy. Alright, rsyncs the files up. Rebuilds Docker on the server. That takes a second or two. And then we're going to go look at our logs in production. So give that a second or two. So one thing about Docker is like it's fucking great. I love it, especially when you run like other open source projects that aren't your own. It's really easy to stand something up without having to install everything on the server. You just run Docker Compose and it pulls everything down into its own container. You don't have to do anything. That part's really handy. But it does slow down this kind of thing, like short-term, small, iterative development, continuous deployment. It does take time. So, I don't know. I come from the old days where you used to just FTP a file up to the server, refresh it in your browser in production, fix what you broke, and then redo it. Started out with rsync. Started out with no control system, source code control. And then I went to RCS, which is very simplistic. You could check out a file and it was locked. Nobody else could touch it. So let's check the cache again. So we should be getting stats using the cache. Got recent. Recent's not going to pull from cache. Popular will. So here we set the cache. If we refresh. Whoops. Got an error. What happened? Okay, let's look at the API here. So we need to look at our errors. A lot of junk coming in here. Using cache popular. Not sure what failed. Let's take a look at this again. API 1 popular. Why'd that redirect? 204. Okay. You can always go to curl and drop down into curl. See what we're getting here. Getting nothing back. Use -I for the header. We're getting a 204 back. HTTP 204. I think that's no content. Yes, it's no content. So let's go to async popular. Oh, yep. Didn't catch the. This is actually let data. So I think I fucked those up in a couple of places. Yeah. So what happens when you speed code? Not that I'm speed coding, but when you live code, you tend to fuck everything up. Let data. Unit test would solve this problem, but from my experience, unit testing takes at least twice as long, if not more. I thought I fixed all this shit. Whoops, shit, that's up. I didn't want to fuck that one up. That's actually the function we need. Tickers, data, 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 if data, data, if data. Okay, so we shouldn't have cached in here anywhere. So I'm gonna just do a real quick search for cached. Only place we have it is in get cached. That's fine. Okay, so that should be fixed. Let's I'm still learning. Here we go. I'm still learning Z shell, so I know you can do some cool shit like dub dub dub. So in Bash you'd have to type like the first letters and then tab. But with Z shell you can type anything and then tab. So like you can type com tab, API tab, and it'll tab complete any part of the string. I also notice if you do like lowercase, like if I type vid, if it doesn't find it and it finds an uppercase version, it finds the uppercase and changes it. Any of the string, you type esc desktop. That's about all I've seen so far. The other thing is history. If I go up, you see I don't see those commands. I don't know why. The ones I just typed are not there. The CD commands. But I do need to read a tutorial. This thing's still installing. Almost done here. Then this will wrap up the video. Just gotta wait till this log file reboots. So the unfortunate thing is I can't pause the recording the way I'm doing it. And sometimes the server gets bogged down. I think it's bogged down right now, which is why it's not completing. Yeah, the load's pretty high. It's almost at 8. This should be under 1. If your server's healthy, it should be like 0.29. But I got like 30 Docker instances running on here, and I thought Docker was like pretty scalable, but apparently you can only run like, they actually have a max of 30 instances on one server, which I was surprised to find out, because I had 30 domains, each running a Docker container for its backend. And there's a way you can remove that limit, but it's kind of a pain in the ass. So if you do go with Docker, I would say deploy your bigger projects to their own servers, to dedicated servers, and then use like your smaller projects. Okay, why is that happening? Come on, one more log. There we go. There we go. Okay, popular, trending. Whoops. What the fuck happened there? So we got another bug. Internal server error. Cannot set topics of undefined. Read 164. So command G 164. So this is not good. I'm just going to set it to an empty object because that's what it's expecting. I wonder how many other endpoints I broke there. I know this one's bad, but let's deploy it again. Again, I should be running this all locally, but I'm lazy. That's what happens when you get a lazy developer. Bill Gates said he likes lazy developers because they find the most efficient way to solve a problem. Which I can totally agree with. I mean, I'm lazy, but I also don't like doing things over and over again. So, in this case, I'm actually redeploying over and over again. So, I'm getting lazy doing that. So I want to switch back to developing locally. But I think this is the only bug, so I'm going to just go with it. Just waiting for this. I showed you some post-deploy stuff, my deploy script, in another video. It might have been the 1 hour video that I had to delete. I can show you that when I work on that piece next. I'm also thinking of doing like a live, streaming live coding sessions, like maybe an hour or two. I've got a student that wants to get not tutorial, but wants to be tutored. And, he's going to pay me. It's not really about the money, but I do need some money since I'm not working. But I think I might live stream that if he's down with that. And just do it like every other day or something like that for 2 hours. We'll see. But he wants to learn Vue.js. So if you're interested in Vue, just follow my YouTube channel. Just if you subscribe, you'll get notifications for live streams. And then you can ask me questions and shit like that. Okay, so bad gateway. Okay, that's working now. So let's go back to the home page. The fuck, no, stats is broken. God damn it. The stats is the other one that does that logic. That's down here. I really got to refactor this file. It's getting big. See, this is a problem. This returns undefined if it doesn't find a cache key. And it's good up until here, but then I'm assuming it's an object because that's what I had originally. So I'm just resetting it to an object if we go into the database calls. I think that's the only 2 places I'm doing that. So deploy one more time. Let's check these other ones out. Well, now the server's down. Trending works. Click through, that works. Stocks works. Cryptos works. Let's try topics. Topics works. That should be cached now. I'm going to go back over here and log my caches. Yeah, now it's using cache. These need pagination. You see how long this is? It's like everything in the database. And I want to do page 1, page 2. And I'm going to do something like page equals 1. Like that, because Google needs to be able to crawl everything. If they can't crawl everything, like if you don't, let's say I only showed the last 100 or the first 100 results with no pagination, that 100 results is going to change over time, right? So eventually you're going to have orphaned pages that don't have any links pointing to them. Look, because let's say popular here. Whoops, what the fuck? Alright, let's see what that error is. Oh, I think this just finished. That's all that was. Yeah. Let's check the recent happy, recent sad. Okay. So we're good. We're done. What I was saying though is like this popular page changes over time. So that's why right now I have to show everything. Because Google's going to come down here, click through, and then index this page. But as soon as it can't find a link to that page, the Googlebot's smart enough to realize that's an orphaned page. And it's never going to fucking show it in the search results. So that's why you always want to have pagination. And you don't want to do, you want to do pagination like this. We implemented this on Upvotocracy. So you go down, you get 10 results or whatever it is. And then you have a load more button. Infinite scrolling is not good for bots. So you click load more. You see it goes to page 1. That should say page 2 actually, but I think we started 0. The JavaScript loads it in line, which is fine. But Google needs to be able to click a next button. That's why we have that load more button, so the spider can get through. So now we're on page 3. If I were to refresh and just go straight to page 3, you'd only see page 3. So it's a little different than what you'd see if you're a bot versus a human, but that's only just because we load the data in line. So I think we're good. I'm not seeing any errors here. So that's it. Video went a little long. Sorry about that, but I'll make it a little shorter next time. All right. Thanks, guys. Remember Chovy.com. Check out briskreader.com if you want to follow my development. I'll be doing these videos a couple times a day, I think. Let me know what you want to hear about. All right. See you. Bye.